In today's video, we are going to discuss a small challenge that most of you guys may have faced when you're developing your SaaS. So, when we have actually been, start developing about our SaaS, we need to get a clear idea about the pricing structure, how much it is going to cost us in terms of development, and how much it is going to cost us in terms of hosting. So in this video, we are going to discuss all these points, like what is your infrastructure cost, what is your deployment cost of couple of cloud platform. I will be able to share you with my experience what are the costing and how much it have costed to me in the past. And then we are also going to look with the development cost perspective, like how much it will cost you if you go and hire a team or if a contractor is building the application. So let us start with the hosting first. In this particular document, I have explained in two aspects. First is the hosting that I have explained up here, and then I will be telling you about the development cost and all. One more thing, these numbers are like flexible. It may also change according to your requirement, a little bit up and down, but this is what my estimation are according to my experience with the SaaS world. So if you're going to go and if you're going to deploy the SaaS for your application, you already have a SaaS and you like to deploy that out. For AWS, which is like one of the leading player in the market, if you go and deploy the SaaS onto the AWS, which I really don't recommend if you are doing in an MVP stage at least. If you are having a like 10,000 dollars of credits from AWS programs and all, it is very good. But if you are really not having a good budget and you are going like you have no idea about like how your SaaS will work and it's like your first time, never ever deploy it on this cloud service platform, because the cost may go up to larger than your expectation and things will not work out as planned and your account will get banned and you will have some trouble with that. So with AWS, I will tell you, you can go like hosting would be and using all the services like RDS, AWS Glue, and all kind of EC2, S3 you are using, or you are using load balancer, all like couple of good services you are using from AWS. You have your own VPC on AWS and all. This will cost you near about like equal to or below 500 US dollars a month. And thinking of that also, your users are not very much. It's like between 1,000 and below 1,000 users. So it will be easily, you will be able to bear around equal to $500 or below $500. It can go a little bit up also, but within 500 range or somewhere above below, it would be, you would be able to pay. For the database part, I prefer, if you are making, if you are choosing a NoSQL database, that's what I basically use with my Mun stack. I basically prefer using MongoDB, and I easily able to host and integrate using MongoDB.com, which is an free. I would not say free, but it also provides you a free cluster, which is like 500 MB for the starting, where you can develop your application, you can test it out, and then you can actually go and buy the dedicated hosting plan, which they offer about $57 a month. So in which they will provide you quite a good storage. It would be like dedicated servers instead of shared ones, and you will be able to have a good database up there. The database also gives you the flexibility to choose from the cloud service providers like AWS, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure. Also on the what region you want to select, like if you want to make it in Europe, Asia Pacific, or somewhere in the Middle East, that's all flexible. You can go and configure it from the Atlas dashboard. Now, if you are looking for a cheaper solution or for dedicated servers, you want something like for scrapping or mining or streaming, something like this. There are servers between 100 to 200 US dollars a month, and these are like dedicated servers. You can get it from 99rdb.com, where they will be providing you a Windows instance. You can also get a Linux also, and you can run any software, anything that you like to do. And the price is actually quite cheap. So if you are doing any testing, or if you are doing any kind of configure, or you want to run your particular application, or you can go and use this platform. I personally use this for my streaming and all, so it is really very useful. Other than this, for the MVP, I always recommend to use DigitalOcean if you are starting. DigitalOcean is a kind of a cloud only, but it offers a limited amount of functionalities and features as compared to AWS. It also offers dedicated servers, which varies between $10 to $12 a month. There's a basic plan. If you are going above like $42 plan is also there, then it is like the $64 plans are also there. So depending upon what's your servers and what is your application bandwidth and how much it is going to consume, you can go and select the pricing plan accordingly. But if you're going like really good, and if you're having like 100,000 users somewhere around this, make sure don't use DigitalOcean. Then I would prefer like go and get a good team and start with AWS in that case. But yeah, if it is like below 1,000 2,000 somewhere around this, DigitalOcean up to 10,000 also, DigitalOcean is totally fine. Then there's one more called as Firebase. Now Firebase, I know like a lot of you guys will also know about Firebase. It is a subsidiary of Google Cloud Platform, which offers a limited amount of services that Google Cloud Platform also offers. So services like hosting, storage, real-time database. Then there's also NoSQL database in Firebase. Then there's authentication. So there's a lot of services that Firebase offers, and they are also free up to certain aspect, obviously. And you can obviously go and upgrade your Firebase account to a GCP whole cloud as pay as you go basis once you have attained a certain threshold, or you feel like you need to get more bandwidth for your application. Other than that, I've also mentioned these links up here. So all these links would be in the description down below, so don't worry, have a look in the description. And these are the links where you can actually go and you can check the servers out. The servers are quite cheaper and flexible, and it's also like very useful. Like 99rdb.com is the one that I personally use for most of my application. We also have like Rendier, where you can get a Postgres SQL database, you can get a nice Redis database. If you have a cron job or you want to use any kind of scheduling, that is also possible on Rendier. They also have a free tier, so you can also check that out. You can also try it out and use it for your application. Now moving forward, now we are going to discuss about the development and how it is going to cost you in terms of development. Now in development, either you have two options. Either you can go and hire a contractor who will actually go and develop the entire application, or you can start building your individual team by people. Both of them has pros and cons, and we will discuss both of the scenarios. So number one, we are going to start with if you are developing your team from scratch and you are hiring one person as a for your application. Now if you are looking for an intermediate developer who has at least like 5 years of experience, and it's like your work could be done with that, those people will cost you like $1,000, somewhere between $1,000 a month. If you really expect somewhere above 7 years or 8 years or 10 years of experience, they will actually cost you around $1,600 or maybe above of that. So make sure this point you have taken care in mind, okay? But most of the SaaS cases for the MVP, the full stack developer who can do both front end as well as the back end, it actually costs you around $1,000, and you can easily find them on Fiverr and Upwork. So these are the platforms where you can get it. Other than that, now project manager is actually one of the most essential and needed person in your application or your entire project development. If you are able to give the time, if you are able to connect on a daily basis, like one in the morning for a scrum call and then in the evening for a scrum call, then it is totally fine. You don't need a project manager. But if you are quite busy, if you are not able to keep the track of your time of your project, and if you are like the communication level is also not good, in that case you need to go and have a project manager. Project manager is actually one of the most important person. Most of these SaaS application also fails because there is not much communication and the project is not going, and developers are working as they like and convenient. But these are all the things that the project manager take care of. It would be time tracking, it would be making sure the pipelines are okay, it would be making sure the tasks, that milestones and the tasks are getting completed over the time. All these things that all the business scope, all the working environment, communication, making a Slack channel, communicating with them regular basis, making sure that the feedbacks are done, making sure that you as an owner you receive all the things. So this is what the project manager does. Yeah, I would recommend, if you have time, you can do it by yourself, no issue. But if you are really not into it and you have a side work, please go and get a person who is actually dedicated in this field. Okay. Now, third, we have a QA tester. Now, QA tester is also very important. Do not think that you will test your application, because this is like most of the people think and they actually fail. You will able to test your application, but you cannot get a truthful opinion of what a third person has to say. If you go and hire a QA tester, he would be able to give you a real time user experience. He will be able to tell you like what he's been experienced, what our loops are, what our bugs are there. He will be able to give you suggestions how to improve them, all these things that tester will be able to provide. So make sure you go and have a QA tester, rather you are going and testing out from your side. You can also test it out, but it's okay to get a QA tester. That would be more professional and better. Now, UI UX persons, if you are planning to develop your entire application from scratch, having the wireframes in Figma, Adobe XD, if you are planning to have your entire app or the web application SaaS that you are building, should have a branding, should have a good font, color patterns, and all those icons and logos are customized and there. You can go and have a good UI UX person who will take care of all these things. But if you are actually starting an MVP, you have a logo with yourself and you have a rough idea about what colors you want, the color code and all, I would recommend you that you can go and buy some templates. There are a lot of templates you can find on MUI themes, or you can also check the Bootstrap themes. There are a lot of templates which goes like around 12 to maximum like up to $200 for lifetime of use. The license cost you, and it's really very good. I personally use in most of my project, and I feel like having a template at least for an MVP is totally fine. Now, if you are going to have a contractor, now contractor is the person who will develop this entire application as a team, as a third party team, and they will be associated with you for a certain period of time till which the project is completed. Okay. Now, it will cost you somewhere like most of the SaaS, like it will also get differ, or the prices may also change according to your requirement or what you are trying to do. But most of the SaaS, according to my experience, they varies between 2,000 to 5,000 US dollars, and development time varies from 60 to 70 days of time. So within this 2,000 to 5,000 US dollars, your entire application would get developed, and if it is like maximum, it can go up to 70 days. But obviously you can talk with them and it can get lower. So this is what I have experienced. Also, max to max, what can happen, like your project may extend up to 3 months of time, but I think within 3 months of time any MVP is able to make, or below 3 months, like it's like 90, or I would say like 95% of the MVPs are able to build. So these contractor will be able to make your entire project. They will take care of all the requirements that you have given to them. And in this case also, yes, you do need a project manager in this place also, because he would be a person from your side who will be taking care of all the things are required, all the pipelines are secure, all the objectives are make proper. Other than that, obviously you can also take the part, you can also check it, you can also say it like all the things are properly and working as flow. Now, here's the difference between having an individual team and having a contractor. An individual team is going to stick for a longer period of time. Obviously, in having an individual team will cost you a little bit more, like you are making your own R&D, team. But in a contractor basis, what happens is like you spend a little bit amount of your money, and then obviously your application is developed, and they obviously what happens is that this contractor, they went, and then you have to find another people or someone else, or your team, you have to make your team who will again take care of your project. Now in this place, obviously the project manager has to make sure all the proper documentation, knowledge transfer, all the things are being given to your team, and the team are able to start the work, kick the work off, because those people also, like after the project has been finished from the contractor, these people also need to have some time, at least a month. That I will say, like for any team it requires at least 1 month to get full hands-on and flexible and easy. Like you say, like I want to change this page, I want to change that section, and they would be so quick to understand and they will be able to change. So at least 1 month is required for any developer or anyone who go and start making this thing. So this is like one of the downside and one of like good sides of having the individual team and contractor. So videos like this, topic like this will be coming more in the in the future, and I will be helping you out with more SaaS development, SaaS consultation. If you also want to get in touch with me, links would be in the below description. You can see my email, you can mail me out, you can reach to me out, and I will really love to talk with you like what help I can provide to you in terms of your SaaS.